Welcome to the Nubian Public Podcast. Thank you all for listening and thank you all for joining. It's going to be one, y'all. It's going to be one today, and I'm going to let you know why. I've got my previous co-host and family here, Mr. Classic. And again, we're going to touch on something that we've been talking about behind the scenes, and it is really finna be deep. Now, this is no holds barred right here. It is what it is. Like I said, it's my show. We do what we want to do. So, fam, what were we in? First of all, we are going to talk about the God body and the God part of the brain. And we're going to touch on, since this is supposedly African History Month, I don't call it Black History. I call it African History Month, because everything originated and started in the motherland of Africa. And how we were going on to say that before this Columbus fella, or Mr. Christos is his real name, supposedly discovered this place back in the 1500s. Christos, that's his real name. And there were already Africans here. But without further ado, let me welcome Mr. Classic. Go ahead, fam.
Yeah, I just want to start off by saying what I touched on as far as with God. And God had really spoke to me, and he was like, when God is saying that I need you to go in your prayer closet, I need you to go in your prayer closet. Once you go inside of your prayer closet, it doesn't matter what's on the outside. God is going to clean that up for you. You ain't got to worry about that. But when you really get in tune with God and really talk to him, to understand and hear his word, yeah, you probably got a bunch of commotion going on outside of your prayer closet, but you ain't got to worry about that, because God going to clean that up for you. So that's what I wanted to say on that little part.
And I actually feel you there. God is going to clean it up for you. But what is prayer? What you had touched on with me earlier before this recording, there is a difference between worship and there is a difference between prayer.
Yes.
And what I was saying, and what they don't teach new ministers, new pastors, I've been a minister now for 10 plus years. What I had to learn on my own was that when we had touched on the fact that there are more than 10 commandments, the Bible, even though it holds most truths, and I'm going to say most truths because the Bible does hold a lot of truth. That's why it says Satan is in this world very big, because God said, don't let the elect be fooled by what Satan is pulling over, the wool he's trying to pull over our eyes. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what he is doing is, how are you going to have a group of men in this Vatican? First of all, how is the Catholic religion, which there's no such thing as a religion because it's all within you, it is a belief system. Where do they get the nerve to control everything that is printed in a Bible, that is presented in seminary school, that is presented through each individual new pastor that joins? What are you saying? How do you control what goes in and out of God's word? Because what people don't understand is, and here's fun fact, before the Vatican got a hold of the Bible, and they were looking like why the book of Enoch, as a matter of fact, is a book that they took out. Okay.
A lot of books.
And that's just one. But then it also go ahead, did you know that reincarnation was in the Word of God that they found with these scrolls and everything in these caves? They chose to leave that out because, we don't believe in reincarnation. Who are you?
So with that being said, reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the root word of that is re.
Mm-hmm.
So God renews. God renews.
Yes.
So that means he makes you new again.
Yes.
He makes you whole from whatever you have done, any negative thoughts that's in your mind, any thoughts of you want to kill somebody, any thoughts of you want to kill yourself, suicide or anything. God renews you. And he says, I come to give you life in that more abundantly. God never said he would, and he said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. So with that being said, renew, reincarnation.
Reincarnate. Yes,
so
reincarnation.
Also understand a part of that word too. When you say reincarnate, it's called carnage. So if God is able to renew you and clean you up and make you better than what you was before, that's where you recognize who God is and how merciful and how powerful he is. Yeah, we gonna mess up. We gonna mess up. It's gonna be many days that we don't get it right. We gonna have attitudes. We gonna want to fight and everything else. But when he reincarnates you, he's cleaning you up to make you better than what you was before.
Yes. And I'm just sitting here typing up on the computer. It amazes me the amount of power that is given to this world by Satan and Satan alone. Because this is his world. And we're just passing through it. And I think that we are passing through it because God is showing us. That's why he gave us the option. Yeah, option, strength, and ability. Like you said, he gave us that to choose. Either you want him or you want me. What I had touched on with you earlier when I said why Satan is so mad with us as a species is because, again, we have the option to choose what path we want to take. Satan didn't. He screwed up one time and he was cast down. We screw up every day. And if we just think, not pray, if we just think to God, and God, I repent, think it. You don't have to tell him what he already knows about you. Because if you are the God brain, not the God body, if you are the God brain, don't you think that he would already know what is with you?
And I want y'all to understand this as well. We already know Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. We know that much.
That's right.
Now, what I really want to share with each and every one of you all, the word division is division.
Yes. God
is a multiplier. So why would you want anything subtracted from you?
Hello. Because God will give you what you desire, what your heart wants tenfold. Tenfold. And if you want just something minute, he knows what's good for you. And he also knows what isn't good for you. So you don't have to waste your time begging and pleading to someone who knows what you want. If it is meant for you, then you will have it there abundantly.
And then it's so amazing. And I'm going to say the word crazy. It's crazy that because of the shoes I wear, or the clothes that I wear, or how I may look, if my hair look a certain way or whatever else, why are you looking like that? Why this, that? You focus on the wrong stuff.
That's right.
That's why your vision is offset. Your vision is offset because you focus on the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's right.
When you focus on what God called you to do and who God called you to be. And understand the word be means that I am a being of God. I'm not a human being. I'm a being of the spiritual God. Oh, and people need to really understand and know that who God truly is. And once again, like I said, we focus on the wrong things.
The wrong. Keep it locked. We'll be right back. And we are back, and I'd like to thank you for joining me for this edition of Nubian Public Podcast with my special guest here, Mr. Classic, and one of my original co-hosts. We were I wish you guys can hear what we talk about off the air, because you would love to subscribe. But again, thank you all for joining us. Now, with these pyramids, I wanted to pick your brain with that. Well, you know what? Do you know who the Nephilim is? Okay. Do you believe that there were, possibly still is, Nephilim, and that the fallen angels that was discussed in the Bible, do you believe that we are hybrids of the Nephilim because they took on the women of flesh and mixed them with an angelic being, and that's why, or do you believe that that's why God destroyed the earth with the floods? And possibly, do you believe that the earth was only destroyed one time and not many, so to speak? Because it has been said that we are on planes or on dimensions 1 through 5, and going back millions of years, that the earth was destroyed not once, not twice, but possibly 3 to 4 times, because the earth was inhabited by extraterrestrials or inhabited by visitors from other planes. And which brings me, before you answer, brings me to this, that I do believe that there is other life out there. I do. There is no way that we could be the God body or the God brain of existence, but yet we are the only one that God created. That's just not possible. There has to be something out there. And if you think about it, when the Space Shuttle Challenger went up in 84, 85, and as they were coming back to our atmosphere, they died. And I'm starting to think, did they discover something that they weren't supposed to see while they were nosing around up there? It really makes me think, you should not be up there messing around. We were not made to breathe in the outer space. We were not made to be dicking around up there. So it's just, I'm filled with 1,000 questions on someone else's perspective.
Me personally, how I view so much is that we'll hear stuff on the news, or we'll get reports on things about this is how this is or whatever. And I have a mindset different from everybody. What is the true truth of anything? And the old saying that is that gut feeling. That's God speaking to you. So unless God give you confirmation on anything, don't. And Tupac, I'm gonna use Tupac. Tupac said, "Don't believe everything you read, because so much stuff is falsified.
Yeah,
it's very falsified.
Yeah.
So unless you educate yourself on something, you can get a professor can sit down and talk to you all day long. Anybody can talk to you all day long. Anybody can show you something that they read and say, oh, this is the truth.
Right.
Unless you know it for yourself, educate, study. Mm-hmm. And that's even something that I learned too, that I used to look like the elderly women or, men where they sit down with their little notepads or whatever while they in church and they take down notes. That's called studying. You're taking down notes and then you go back and do the research for yourself.
That's right.
The pastor or the deacon, the reverend, the evangelist, they can say what they saying. Okay, yeah, I heard what you said, but I need to figure this out for me.
That's right.
So unless I figure it out for me, what you saying, does it matter? It may. You can have a drunk person tell you something. Okay, well, they said what they said. Let me go figure this out. So bottom line, with going back to the pyramids, going back to so much that, right there in our faces. Yeah. That, why is that created? Why is that built? Why did they even form that? What's the purpose of that?
Right.
Ask yourself, what's the purpose of you?
Okay. I feel you there. What is... that was kind of deep. That was kind of deep. Okay, yeah, what is the purpose of it? What is the purpose? I ask myself that, but you'll never be able to figure that out because the purpose is between you and your maker. Whatever he has for you to do is what he has for you to do. And they're saying you don't question God.
Right.
I wouldn't even go nowhere near trying to even touch that. You don't question God. That is the only intelligence that I will never question. I'll question my dad. What you talking about, Pops? You know what I mean? I question him, but I'm not questioning God.
Now, I would never question God, but me personally, it also goes back to where we were speaking about the difference between praying and worshiping God.
That's what I wanted to touch on.
When you worship God, he will reveal to you and give you understanding. He will give you insight and vision.
That's right.
On what you need to know that he needs you to know, not what nobody else is saying. Because then it also goes back to this 5-letter word, THINK. What is your thoughts? What do you think? You're thinking. So that means you don't know. You don't have knowledge of. So that means you need to go and research and study it for yourself.
That's
before
right.
you give people answers or respond to something. And I'm like a big person of this. If you ask me something and I'm like, I'm not gonna answer that, well, what's your opinion? I ain't with that hypothesis stuff or whatever else. These are man-made words.
Yes.
I'm not going with that. If I don't know for sure, or if I have never experienced that, to let you know that, okay, well, I did experience this, but your situation, it may be similar, but it may not be the same. So therefore, I'm not just going to give you anything that you just want to hear.
I like that. And I like that so much. Just keep it locked right there, y'all. We're going to come back and continue this. There's a lot that needs to be explained with this. My Anglo-Saxon people, be listening. Please, so you can tell us what's going on. New Being Public Podcast. 4:38 p.m. in this Milwaukee weekend. Like what now? 4:38 on this Milwaukee weekend, and we'd like to thank you for revisiting the Milwaukee Internet Radio and Nubian Public Podcast. We are going to continue the conversation. I really want to send out my shouts and thank you for sticking with us here at Nubian Public Podcast. So, we were in a discussion with the God part of the brain, and it's not the God part of the body, but the God part of the brain, which is the third eye. And that third eye is something like the pit of your gut. And let me really elaborate on this. When you think that you get this voice in your head that tells you not to do something, and it turns out that you really wasn't supposed to do it, and that gut saved you, right? It's not your gut. That's God speaking to himself. And what I mean by God speaking to himself, because we, as Nubians, I'm not even going to go Anglo-Saxon on this, Nubian, with us, we are the original God part of the brain. That's why our melanin is so wanted by haters. But you sit in the sun all day to try to obtain the result that God has given himself naturally. That's a whole other part of a freaking show that I can get on, but it just pisses me off. What do you think, fam?
That's deep.
That's deep. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say when it really comes to God and us truly understanding who God truly is, and you've been really keen on speaking about the third eye.
Mm-hmm.
Until we get in tune with the third eye.
Mm-hmm.
And the craziest part about it is that the third eye has been shut off for so long. And that's a part of God's wrath. That's a part of God's wrath. No, I'm the center of it all. I need you to turn me back on. Everything else that you saying and doing or whatever else, that's not what I call for you to do. So to get that wake up and turn that third eye on. And then I'm going to say it like this. This is just how I feel. This is my perspective. The third eye, and like you said, it's to the brain.
Yep.
That's blood flow.
Yep.
So when you have a hemorrhage or leakage there, and it's not corrected or it's not caught in time,
mm-hmm.
it overswells and it bursts. Now you may be in a vegetable state, and I'm just being real, how I feel about this.
Mm-hmm.
Now you probably wake up and say, I need to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, then, dang, I forgot what I'm finna do next.
Right. Why do they even walk in here?
It's because you are not connected to that third eye.
Mm-hmm.
You are not allowing the third eye. You are not allowing God to have full access of your brain.
Now it's interesting you said that. Because with liquor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they call liquor spirits?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Think about why they call liquor spirits. Then when you put that together,
liqueur.
Think about why it inebriates a person and messes with their thought pattern. And when you drink and then you drink, and then the next day you have no idea of what you did, and they try to say, well, you blacked out.
Have you ever paid view to the last three letters of that word, liqueur?
Liqueur, okay.
What's the letter?
E-U-R.
O-U-R.
Well, that's liqueur. Eau Noir.
That's why I said liqueur.
Okay, because there's two different ways to pronounce that.
Now, if you say liqueur, you licking on something that God did not allow you to have in your body.
Okay, and I feel you there, and that's where I was going. And that's exactly where I was going. When you're inebriated, right? The liquor, and that's why it's called spirits. If people would just think about everything that goes on around life with them and put two and two together, they would understand why things are called what they're called. Now, is this going to stop me from drinking? Probably not. Is it going to put me more on alert? Yes. And let me tell you why. Again, when you aggravate that third eye, okay, that is God. We are God, okay? When that aggravates that, that aggravates that. So when you drink the liquor, which is spirits, what does that do? That inebriates you to the point where you are disconnected with God, and therefore the spirits have free reign over you until that inebriation is gone.
Have you ever really paid attention to that word spirit?
Well, what do you mean?
Really pay attention to what I'm about to say. Spirit is a spurt. It's the spurt of the moment. You are in a moment because you feeling some type of way because your job probably laid you off, or your girlfriend or your man acting up or whatever. It's the spurt of that moment, how you react and how you respond. Wait a minute, God, hold up. I ain't finna do that. Why? I know I can go to jail. I know this can happen. I know that can happen. I ain't finna do that. It's the spurt of the moment.
Okay, I feel that. I feel that.
That spurt can be an outburst that you probably can say something to somebody, and next thing you know, that person committed suicide, killed themselves, or whatever because of your words.
Well, that's why I said that the most powerful organ in your body is the smallest, and that is your tongue. Because once it's put out there, you can't recall that back.
The tongue defiles the whole body.
It defiles. Again, you can't recall what you said to someone.
And if you don't mind, I want to share this with you all too.
Yeah.
Because I talked to my cousin about this as well. And I love the psalm, Psalms. Psalm is the difference between psalm and songs. I was listening to Juanita Bynum, her song Behind the Veil. And what I loved about it when she said, Satan has no interest behind the veil. So anything that's in front of the veil, if God brings you behind the veil, Satan cannot no longer attack you. Satan can no longer do nothing. Satan has no nothing. Satan has nothing. He has no authority of you or anything. So y'all need to recognize that whatever is outside of the veil and God brings you behind the veil, stay behind the veil.
Stay there. Because you're there for a reason. You're there for a reason.
He's your watchtower.
That's right. Well, you know what? I know we didn't touch on everything that we wanted to touch on, right? But we have only so much time and allotment here. So, again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on this edition of Nubian Public Podcast.
Y'all stay locked. Y'all follow us and stay locked because we really want to hear like y'all what y'all have to say as well.
Yes, we really do. And just click on the link wherever you listen to your podcast. Leave us feedback. Leave us some emails or some voicemails. Or keep it locked. 414-533-3033. Leave a voicemail or a text to talk. I can read your questions and comments over the air, but without you, this wouldn't be possible. So once again, my name is Twan the Don, aka Mantree, and I really appreciate you guys for joining us on this edition of Nubian Public Podcast.
Really fast before you go, y'all, it's very important y'all keep your families in prayer. Y'all stay prayed up one to another. Is very important. Prayer means a lot. Y'all feel that, well, God didn't answer my prayer. God is going to answer your prayer. God hears you.
Definitely.
Keep your faith and know that I know that God heard me. So y'all just cover each other. Cover each other. Don't hate on each other. Just love each other. Y'all be safe.
Peace, love, soul, but the greatest of them all is forgiveness. God bless. Keep it locked.
Take my hand and I'll lead you there. Come go with me behind the veil.
'Cause in His presence